20 years ago, Ecolog was providing laundry services for peacekeeping forces in Kosovo. Today, it's a billion-dollar multinational providing industrial services, logistics and supply management in some of the most challenging environments around the world. It's an extraordinary story of growth based on a reputation for tackling tasks, big or small, in areas that others might find a little too challenging. I'm Andrew Wilson, and I'm here in Davos to talk to Ecolog's new CEO about where he wants to take the company next. Ali, great to talk to you. Thanks for joining us. First of all, the most extraordinary thing I discovered about Ecolog is its extraordinary growth in 20 years. Tell us a bit about how that started, the history of the company, and how you got to where you are today.
Sure, pleasure to be here. The growth story of Ecolog is a story of commitment to a vision and dedication and hard work. The company started with the humble beginnings, providing very, very basic support services to the peacekeeping missions in the Southwest Europe, ridden by atrocities and war. And from there, through diversification of their portfolio, commitment to customers, and being sure that they are where the customers needed them to be, they continued growth in both horizontal and vertical directions.
You're fairly new to the company as CEO. What was your first impression on joining?
Very interesting. It was amazing for me to see two things. A startup spirit sustained 20 years into operational excellence. And more importantly, you see that the company is actually focused around what I always wanted to see. Failure is not an option.
And now, as a multi-million company, still no job is too big or too small. Give us an idea of how you deal with those different types of tasks in often quite difficult circumstances.
The company has learned through doing and growing. With that, you get the learning to be enshrined and engraved into the DNA of the company. And through that, the organization has adopted technologies, solutions, skills that have been very fundamental to helping them continue grow the business while managing the risk profile of the projects and geographies in which they operate. One of the most important part of the story was that the organization continued to acquire skills, expertise laterally in engineering, in construction, in distribution, logistics, and then also adopted technologies and innovation in digitization of part of the value chain to make sure that they embrace productivity as they grow.
So for people not familiar with Ecolog and its reputation, give us an example of the kind of work that you're doing now.
At Ecolog, we actually operate in 3-4 main sectors: logistics, energy, support services, and peacekeeping. Giving you an example from the peacekeeping side is in one of the Central African countries, we were mandated by one of the most important clients, United Nations, to execute the projects with them in record time. Here we're talking about 3 months' time to construct the facility for thousands of people. We started the project, mobilized the team, got the equipment on the ground, and while starting to run through the construction, we realized that the entire country were lacking one particular piece of equipment. What do? You can't let the customer fail. So we decided to find that piece of equipment around the world, chartered the plane, pushed it forward, brought it to the country, got the job done. And while doing so, we still executed the project in shorter time frame than the customer expected.
Now, if you want to start moving heavy plant around the world into difficult circumstances, part of that involves being can-do and having your logistics working efficiently. Part of that's an element of diplomacy and getting through the red tape. I think you must be pretty good at that as well.
20 years of hard work and learning, but no, you're right. It's not easy, and we never claimed it has been easy. And in some cases, you face challenges that are very difficult to solve. However, as a company, we've embraced 2-3 things which are very fundamental to us no matter what. Most importantly, the transparency, the sustainability of how we operate, combined with our culture of integrity. And surprisingly, once you are known for, you're committed to deliver the job. Yes, there are red tapes, yes, there are bureaucracy, and in some cases there are even not necessarily very structured governances. However, when everybody is focused around a common cause, in the interest of the country, and when they see you're ready to move even the extra mile, some of those red tapes get shortened. And of course, you also need to understand the principles of how you operate in these countries and manage the process.
A lot of growth, as we've already mentioned, but also a lot of international work. So you must have staff, full-time staff from all sorts of different backgrounds and cultures. How do you keep everyone on message with what Ecolog is all about?
That's a very good point. Actually, as you rightfully said, Ecologs started in one country. And now we are in 40 countries, 150 locations, and are executing 1,100 projects. 10,000 plus employees around the world, all of them dedicated, and all of them very close to me. Because my job is not only to take care of the health and financial well-being of the companies, but also to take care of the employees. So what we do is, first of all, myself and the management board are very closely entrenched in the projects, on the ground with people, traveling around the world and making sure that we are where the customer and where our employees are. The second part is we have a very interesting rotation system for the employees. We get them to be at site, back to the headquarters, the next site, the next country, and this way you make sure the message runs across and people basically carry forward with them the knowledge and implement it in all the new countries where they begin to operate.
The World Economic Forum focuses on the private sector, what the private sector can bring to goals like sustainability and working better with the environment, also with developing countries. How much of that resonates with you, particularly with your work in countries that other companies may not work in so much?
We have started being associated with the underdeveloped countries. We've seen firsthand what it does to communities and how does it impact the global community. It's not only the location that suffers, it also the implications and the ramifications of that suffering that spreads across the world. The refugees, the mass migration, so on and so forth, these are the simple byproducts of lack of development. So one thing we've done, we believe in what we say and we do what we say. So we have joined as a signing partner to UN Global Compact. We are also one of the only private sector companies that is a direct active supporter of UN SDG 230. And what we do is we taken on board as part of our operation a very, very active and sustainable CSR. We have a responsibility to do something. We take it one step further. It's not only a responsibility, it's a duty, it's a joy. We want to do that because we have seen it firsthand. So in every country we operate, be it in Iraq, be it in Central Africa, we build schools. We get the community involved. We put for them the training program. We look at developing sustainable water solutions for them. Because the better they are educated, the better their future life is, the better is the future of the country.
Ali, pleasure talking to you. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you. Pleasure was mine.